Solusi sehat. Keluarga Anda. www.klinikwinarto.com.
Ahli mengobati asma atau sesak nafas sembuh permanen tanpa kumat-kumatan. Info dan konsultasi hubungi HP atau WA 0812893709.
Asthma comes from the Greek word for panting, which makes sense because it causes chronic inflammation of the airways, making them narrow and more difficult to breathe through. People with asthma can have asthma exacerbations or asthma attacks, which are usually triggered by something in the environment which causes immune cells to generate inflammation in the lungs, which can make them even narrower and potentially be life-threatening. So if we take a look at the lungs, you've got the trachea, which branches off into the right and left bronchi, and then continues to branch into thousands of bronchioles. In the bronchioles, you've got the lumen, the mucosa, which includes the inner lining of epithelial cells, as well as the lamina propria, and the submucosa, which is where the smooth muscle lives. In asthma, there are typically lots of eosinophils just below the epithelium in the lamina propria. Eosinophils are white blood cells that carry a cargo of granules full of soluble chemical mediators like histamines, leukotrienes, prostaglandin, and platelet activating factor. When these eosinophils sense an environmental trigger like cigarette smoke in the airway, they can release their granules, letting those chemical mediators spill out and start degrading lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids, literally destroying all the major cell components. This creates a strong inflammatory reaction in the bronchiolar walls and causes two changes. First, smooth muscles around the bronchioles start to spasm, which narrows the airway. And second, there's increased mucus secretion into those narrow airways, narrowing them even more, which, when these are combined, makes it really hard to breathe. And this is why asthma is considered a type of obstructive pulmonary disease. Initially, these inflammatory changes are completely reversible, but over the years, irreversible changes start to take place. Edema, scarring, and fibrosis build up, leading to thickening of the epithelial basement membrane, which permanently reduces the airway diameter. Alright, but why do some people have lots of eosinophils and create inflammation in response to a trigger in the first place? Well, type 2 helper T cells, or Th2 cells, which is an immune cell subtype, is known to be involved in asthma, as well as atopic dermatitis and allergic rhinitis, making up what's called the atopic triad. These Th2 cells release cytokines to communicate with other cells. One cytokine is interleukin-5, which is a small peptide that attracts and activates eosinophils. It turns out that blocking interleukin-5 has been shown to help some patients with asthma.
Mulanya biasa saja.